Hello, everyone. Thank you for being so patient. There was an upgrade in Zoom and Facebook, and an app needed to be added to the Facebook account. So again, I appreciate your patience. And this is a big day today. I actually wanted to do this chat with you folks back on April 9th. And you can see the picture of the magazine, the weekly magazine Life. This one was published April 9th, 1951, 70 years ago. And I had this all ready to go, but on April 9th, 2021 was the day that I got to my pre-COVID weight, and I had something special that I wanted to do that day. So I just decided, well, as long as I do this talk in the month of April, it will work. And lo and behold, today is April 30th, the last day of the month. So the reason why I have this picture of Life magazine is 3 years after Mrs. Mann started Tops, they published an article about her in Life. And it was, again, April 9th, 1951, 70 years ago. And when I had joined Tops and I started to learn more about this wonderful, extraordinary lady, I heard that they had put an article in Life magazine, and I had a quest. I wanted to find original copy of the magazine, which I did. Luckily, there's a great place that Ann and I like to frequent on the coast of Maine, called the Chicken Barn. It's actually a converted chicken barn, and it's got antiques, books, magazines, comic books, which I also enjoy. And I've been fortunate every time we go to find a copy of this great issue that has Mrs. Mann's story in it. I actually have 4 now. And this issue cost 20 cents 70 years ago. It cost me $15 now, just as a way of showing you things have changed. But let's get back to the article. Back in 1951, this was a pretty big deal to have an article published like this. And it was towards the back of the magazine, but at least it was listed in the table of contents. And it's an interesting read. Remember, it's 70 years ago, but it really captured the basic essence of what Mrs. Mann wanted to do with this organization. And I just find it, and it strikes me as ironic, maybe not to anybody else, but here is the first article published in a national magazine on Tops. And there's on the cover is a picture of General Bradley from World War II. And I just looked at it and I said, you know, how remarkable, since we are in a battle against obesity, and that's what Mrs. Mann wants. She was really waging the war against obesity, that we have a picture of a famous general on the magazine. And just to show you how times have changed, in looking at the magazine, there's a lot of ads that probably wouldn't be published today, but there's a lot of famous brands that are still in there: Coca-Cola, Pepsi, various beers and liquors. And over the time, these brands have changed, haven't they, to go with the times, and that just makes sense. And Tops, I feel right now, we're in a revision, so to speak. The pandemic has kind of showed a few things that we need to tweak, and I've been talking with the field staff and how we want to make some changes to give our members more options, with this basic goal that is mentioned in this article, that we need to provide group support and accountability. That has not changed. in reading the article, and I have to mention that if you are fortunate enough to find this, again, it's 70 years. Times were different back then. But I'm struck about it. You can see to the one side of a picture of Mrs. Mann's where it says "See you later." I'm going to kind of lean over, and you can see right here where there's pictures of three women, and they're actually before and after pictures. I mean, that's probably, from what I can gather, one of the first times that would happen in a national magazine. But I was struck by a caption on one of the pictures where they talked about Dolly Davis Prouty, who was, forgive me, called a professional fat girl comedian, who started with tops at 300 pounds and in 44 months lost enough weight so her weigh-in was 162 pounds, nearly half of the weight, her weight that she lost. And then she became a nightclub singer and an MC. And what struck me is the before and after pictures, again, that basic item that we tend to really promote to show the progress in that we have in Tops, was in the current issue of Tops News that hopefully will be in your mailbox soon, and it is online. We're actually featuring women who have been in national magazines. I believe it's First for Women and Women's World, half the size, showing their dramatic weight loss. So I just think here it is, 70 years later, we're still doing some of the stuff. And yeah, there's some stuff that we're changing. We tend not to use the term fat anymore, and we're more conscious of fat shaming. But given the context of the times, this was really remarkable to get this information out into a national magazine. And again, I just thought it was ironic that we have a general on the cover, but we fought famous battles, but we had the true general inside the magazine, the general that we all follow for the battle against obesity. And also, I just, because I like numbers, back 70 years ago, 25% of the population was considered obese. So it's an ongoing battle that we have to wage, and we need to do this together. So I just wanted to share that with you. I'm kind of like a history buff. I like finding old magazines and getting in touch with our history. I want to know why things came about, how things happened, to make sure that any changes that goes forward are within the confines of what the true mission was. So maybe some of you have a copy of this Life magazine kicking around, or maybe you've read it and you can find it online to read the article. But anyway, I just wanted to share that. Here it is 70 years later, and that's I think that's a pretty cool idea. So I need to report in this week for our accountability journey. And I had a sense this week that the week was kind of getting away from me, and I was not fearful to step on the scales, just preparing myself to not be surprised. Well, I was surprised, but thank God, not a big surprise. I did have a gain this week. This is my third gain since the beginning of the year. Fortunately, it was just 0.2. I think I can take care of that and go forward onto my journey. It did affect my average a little bit. Now I'm down to 1.5 pounds per week. So June 18th is still on the horizon. I think with your help, we can get there together. And that is what is really needed in any part of our success in Tops. And I was glad when I reread the article this morning in Life magazine, that was one of the cornerstones that Mrs. Mans talked about, was the group support and how it tied into AA. But obviously we're not hiding, that's not the word I want to use, excuse me. We're not being private about it. We have to be vocal and share our concerns with each other, and not be afraid to ask for help. And I think that's a really a huge deal. So what are we going to do this week? What are we going to do to continue on fighting to get a healthier lifestyle? I've looked at my journals since the first of the year. I've looked at my graphs for my steps, and I think I found something that I need some tweaking to do on, is that the steps that I'm trying so hard to get over 5,000 and averaging about 7,000. I've got to make sure some of those steps are a little bit quicker pace. Just because I walk down the hallway and get 15 steps and then sit down for 20 minutes, probably not cutting it. So I've got to get up more during the hour and kind of just walk a little bit faster, maybe run up and down the stairs a few times before I get into another meeting and stuff like that. So I think I figured out that 5,000 steps, 7,000 steps are fine, but they've got to be the right steps. Remember a while back, I commented that steps to the kitchen don't count, but just kind of just moving around the house is not enough. I need to kick it up a notch. I need to get a little bit more aerobic part of it and get my cardio up. So that's what I'm going to work on this week. I'm going to try to pick up the pace and go forward and knock off this 0.2 that I gained, and shoot for another 1.5 pounds so I can up my average, so that on June 18th I'll get to goal. So I want to thank you again for being patient. Kind of got thrown off my game trying to make all those arrangements. I hope you can find a copy of this article, and just realize that we are coming up on our 75th anniversary as a weight loss organization. That, my folks, is a big deal. And even though there's changes coming, and we don't pay 20 cents for a magazine anymore, it'll be good, because we're going to be doing this together. Have a great week, and we'll see you next Friday.